see that I was making a big difference in people's lives by coming up with solutions. That's one of the challenges I find the most exciting about this industry, is coming up with a solution for a customer to meet that code or meet that need or meet that budget. So there's a lot of different variables that go into what I do on a daily basis that I find extremely challenging.
I've done steel mills where had a molten vat of steel burst into flames. And the system put it out when there's 7 guys underneath that vat around it. I'd hate to even think what would have happened. I've done fire systems where people tell me later they had a kitchen fire that was raging with a person stuck in the corner. The system went out, put out the fire, like nothing happened. They're open 3 hours later.
A plumber working on a project at a historic hotel, and something went wrong, things caught on fire. He used every extinguisher he could get at, and some of the other staff helped him out, and they put the fire out. And so there was no property damage. Obviously, he still has his business, the hotel is fine, things got cleaned up, and he got the extinguishers recharged, and everyone was back to business. But you could tell that he was extremely relieved that they did what they were supposed to do.
When I went to work for ANSUL is being a part of the fire school. Something that I really had not been involved with is the hands-on firefighting, of putting a big fire out. Typically in our industry, you experience fire extinguishers and putting out a small pan fire, or doing some fire training for customers because it's required. But at the fire school, I got to see the big fires, use the wheeled units, and that was an adrenaline rush, having the fire gear on and the protective equipment and being, just on the front line of putting the big fire out. It gives you, I guess, kind of the experience that firefighters, see every day, or maybe not every day, but on a regular basis.
In my early days, I remember sold an extinguisher to one of the local congressmen, or actually it was a senator, and she wanted an extinguisher for her home. Most of my work now and then, back then, was in commercial or industrial, but she wanted an extinguisher for her home. And I remember it so well. I sold her a 10-pound dry chemical extinguisher, and 6 months later, she called me and she said, "Michael," she said, "we had a fire, and that fire extinguisher saved her mom because she was trapped upstairs, and the fire occurred under the stairwell in the home, and it started burning." So what the mother did, she was 65 or 70, picked that extinguisher up, know how to use it, and discharged the extinguisher walking down the stairs to put out that fire. This was 50 years ago, when there was no, we call it in Ireland, fire brigade, that she would have possibly lost her life or lost her property.
When I was about 20 years old, we started doing more fire extinguisher training in the family business. And it was my job to go out and try and talk to people in regards to the importance of learning how to use a portable fire extinguisher. And I had one particular customer that I was always trying to do with. He owned a large warehouse system. And as we were talking to him, he says, "I don't need it, we know how to do it." Several months later, the same customer called me back very upset, telling me that my fire extinguisher didn't work. And so I went down to his location. I said, "Okay, give me the extinguisher, let me see." He was very upset that he lost a $30,000 piece of equipment. And as he showed me the extinguisher, he showed me a charred old piece of extinguisher. And I'm like, "Well, what exactly happened? How did you use this extinguisher?" He says, "I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I pulled the pin, I took the extinguisher, and I threw it in the fire." Realizing that he was a little bit older than I said, "Where did you learn that?" He goes, "That's what I was taught." And what he was taught, in the old days, there were old fireballs that used to hang, and basically you took it was all filled with a chemical, you threw it into the fire, it exploded, the fire went out. And that's what he thought he had to do with his portable fire extinguisher. He became one of my best customers. We did quarterly training with him from that point on, once he realized that he was incorrect.
I've never heard someone say that a fire extinguisher didn't work. Maybe the fire is too big and they needed the fire department, but people have this equipment, and when they need to use it, it's our job to make sure it works. And I'm really proud that we are consistent in that.